and thanks for joining. If you're new here, I'm Wendy and this is Nina's Jewels. My husband and I buy things at garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets, liquidation pallets, just about anywhere we can find things to sell online and flip for a profit. If that's content you're interested in, you're in the right place. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe if you're not already so you can be kept informed of our latest content. Today's video is going to be what sold for the week of March 19th through 25th. Let's get started. The first thing we sold was a vintage 2001 Schleich horse animal figurine. If you're not familiar with Schleich animals, they're PVC animal figures that are heavier than like what you would expect them to be. They're heavier than like, a dollar store type animal figure. So if you're looking at animal figures at, like a garage sale or something, I just lift them up and you can tell immediately if it's something quality. So if you look on the bottom, it'll be marked Schleich. They generally sell for between like $15 and $30 per animal. That's including shipping. We always sell everything with shipping, but it's surprising that they sell for that much, but people collect them. And they have all kinds of different animals, like not just horses and cows and things, but they have safari type animals as well. And then they range in all different sizes. This particular horse was around 5 inches and it had a little bit of wear on it. And I don't know why this particular one didn't sell for higher. It seemed to be one that just didn't have as high of comps as some of the other ones that we've sold. But it sold for $12.78 on offer to buyer. And we had picked this one up at a flea market for $3.50. And we did get positive feedback on it. The next thing that we sold was a Gap women's kind of a cranberry, purple maroon type color cap sleeve V-neck top that we had gotten in the Facebook Marketplace garbage bags of clothes. We got like 6 garbage bags of clothes and we paid $50 for all of them. This sold for only $8.18, but it was not in like great condition. It had a little bit of pilling on it and we disclosed that. But we only paid 67 cents per piece for each item in these bags. Next up was a pair of girls saltwater pink sweetheart sandals that we got in the liquidation lot of kids shoes. We paid $9.09 per pair and these sold for $44.99. Next up was a women's chambray boyfriend fit button-up denim shirt by Banana Republic. We got this at a thrift store. We paid $2.70 and it sold for $18.38 on offer to buyer. Next up was a Caesar's Palace 2000 Millennium Gold Edition Sega Dreamcast game. It was the complete game that we got at a garage sale. We paid 72 cents for this and it sold for $15.99. We got this with a big lot of Sega Dreamcast games at one particular garage sale. And I think we've sold out completely of those now. I think this was the last one. Next up was a lot of 40 ribbon roses by the brand Offray, not sure how to say that. But they were like just little sewing notions or embellishments. We had gotten these at a garage sale and this particular garage sale, they had everything that they had was either overpriced. It was a really small garage sale and I thought we're just not going to find anything. And then there was a plastic shoebox full of like sewing notions and they only wanted $1 and that included the plastic bin that it came in. And I was like, well, that's a good deal. So we bought that and we have just made our money probably like 300 times over on that. So that sold, all of these ribbon roses sold for $7.88 and we had averaged out our cost as 6 cents on those. We got positive feedback on that. And we bought that sewing notion box ages ago and we're still trickling items out on that, but I think we've sold almost everything out of it by now. Next up was a JCrew women's boyfriend fit flannel Henley. We got that at a thrift store. We paid $2.17 and it sold for $23.98 on offer to buyer. We got positive feedback on that. It was in like new condition. It was in really good shape. Next up was another denim shirt. This one was got by Gap, and it was a stretch denim pearl snap Western style shirt. It sold for $23.98. We got this at a thrift store, and we paid $5.41. And this sold, let's see. Yeah, this sold on offer to buyer. We got positive feedback on that. Next up was 2 bottles of Meaningful Beauty by Cindy Crawford Lifting Eye Cream. They were small little bottles. I don't know if they were travel size or if that's just the size the bottles were, but they were 1/2 ounce bottles. These we got at a garage sale, and she had a big bag of Meaningful Beauty products, and we just separated them out. And I think this was the last of it. We made a lot of money on that bag. We bought the whole bag of Cindy Crawford stuff for $10. And some of it sold for like $75. That Cindy Crawford stuff sells high. So if you ever see that at a garage sale, that is definitely worth picking up if you can get it at the right price. We paid $1 for those bottles. We averaged out the cost of that whole bag. And then this lot sold for $32.99. Next up was a Rawlings series left hand T-ball glove. It was a right hand throw glove. This we got at the Goodwill outlet. It sold for $15.99, and we had paid 92 cents for that. Next up, we also got at the Goodwill outlet in the bins. This was a Logitech USB wired mouse. We have a video of us picking this one up. We found it actually inside a bag in the Goodwill bins. This is why you need to all go through the bags as you're going through the bins, because you can find all kinds of stuff. We didn't make tons on this one, but it was worth picking up. It sold for $10.38 on offer to buyer, and we had paid 67 cents for it. Next up was a Bon Appetit magazine, the July 2014 issue on grilling. We had gotten this in a big lot of free magazines that I got on Nextdoor. I got about 6 boxes of free magazines from a lady down the street. This sold for $7.18 on offer to buyer. You got positive feedback on that. Next up was a BuildABear Buddies white and pink princess unicorn. It was new with tags, but it belonged to my daughter. She just had it in her collection and never took off the tag. She kept it on her shelf. That sold for $13.58, and that sold on offer to buyer. We got positive feedback on that. Next up was another item that belonged to us. It was some upholstery trim or fringe that I had used several houses ago, and then this was just the excess leftover that I never used again. And then I was going through old sewing stuff, and I was like, I'm never going to use that. So we listed that. It sold for $18.99 for our asking price. Next up are more gel clings. If you've watched some of our previous video, you know that we sell so many gel clings. So if you ever see window gel clings or window clings of any kind, they sell at least for us. We sell so many of them. These were Easter Bunny gel clings that we had gotten on retail arbitrage. We sold these for $11.69. The buyer bought these with a home decor 10% off promotion that we had going on. We had paid 33 cents for these on clearance last year. And we did go to the store and pick up a couple more. We went late. We should have gone like the day after Easter and gotten some, but we ended up going like several days after Easter. But we did manage to get 2 more gel clings that we'll put in our store for next Easter. So hopefully we'll be able to sell those. I know we'll be able to sell those. I don't know why I'm saying hopefully. I know we'll be able to sell those. Next up was a Madewell women's red floral peasant blouse that we got at a thrift store. We did show this in one of our sourcing videos. We got this for $5.41 at a local thrift, and we sold this for $26.38 on offer to buyer. Next up was a pair of Adidas Ghost Youth shin guards that I got at a local thrift store. You can see this in another video where I picked up the Cinderella's shoes, which I was so excited about, and then they had a broken heel, had them fixed, and they still haven't sold. I paid $2.50 for these shin guards, and they sold only for $10. So this was not a great pickup, but we still made a profit on them, so I'm happy about that. Next up was something that was in our store forever. And I was looking at the pictures of these, and I was like, oh, those pictures are terrible. So we retook the pictures of them, and they sold immediately. So just, this is a perfect example of why you should just be constantly evaluating your photos, your store, just cleaning up kinds of things like that. Because sometimes, you might not even realize that your pictures need to be refreshed, and that might be the reason why your item isn't selling. But definitely this was the reason why this item didn't sell for us before, because immediately when we redid these pictures, they sold. This was a pair of Converse All-Star Classic Chuck high tops in women's size 6. We picked these up at a thrift store for $8. They sold for, I've lost my place, $34.99. Next up was a really good pickup. We got this at the estate sale where we got the fur coats, which we still haven't sold any of the furs, but I've had a lot of interest in some of those. But this was a MediRub body massager, and I mean, when I say it's not like, this is not your classic body massager. This thing was like the kind of body massager that a chiropractor's office would use. I mean, it was like a two-hander body massager this thing was crazy. And so anyway, I think it retailed for like I have it in there, $310 originally. This thing was hardcore. Anyway, we paid $10 for this body massager, and it sold on best offer for $74.98. So that was a good pickup. We got positive feedback on that. Next up was a Jamboree, really pretty watercolor print girls peasant top. We got this at a garage sale. We paid $1 for it, and it sold for $11.98. I still try to pick up Jamboree when I see it at a garage sale because it almost always sells. And I talked about in a previous video why I always look up the collection that it came from through like the fan websites, and this particular one came from the Burst of Spring collection because that helps it sell so much faster. And I never keep Jamboree in stock for more than, a month or so. It just flips fast for me. I don't make a huge profit on it, but it never stays in stock for long. And if I can pick something up for $1 and sell it for $12 or $15 and make a profit on it that quickly, it's just an easy pickup for me. I'll always pick it up over and over again. Next up was a Bath & Body Works wallflower diffuser that had a hibiscus on it. This was gifted to me by a friend, and we sold that for $12.68 on offer to buyer. Next up was a baby bedding set that I was just wanting a project a long time ago. I mean, gosh, maybe 2 years ago, and made this. I didn't even have a baby. I was just looking for a project, and so I made this baby bedding set just to have a project. Anyway, I just had fabric and just made the baby bedding set. So I ended up selling it for $39.98. Totally not worth my time for that amount of money, but I didn't have a crib to display it in. This was just something that I entertained myself with. I don't know how I had so much time at the time I made this, because now I'm so busy, there's no way I would have time to do something like this, but this is what I did. Boy, I wish I had that much time now. Next up was a Lucky Brand pair of mid-rise ankle Hayden skinny jeans that we got at the thrift store. We paid $6.94 and we sold these for $27.98 on offer to buyer. We went to the thrift store recently, and it's been kind of since, it was kind of during the time that the thrift store was transitioning into the crazy pricing. It was right about the time that things were getting crazy, but we hit them in this pocket of time where they had this number of Lucky Brand jeans in women's. And I don't know, we just hit this one particular time where we were able to get like 8 pair of women's Lucky Brand jeans for reasonable prices. And this was one of the pair. And then things went crazy. We just happened on this one time where they missed the Lucky Brand jeans. In fact, the lady who was checking us out, I think, was surprised that we found them. And I think she was I could tell that the wheels were turning in her head, like how did we misprice these, or who priced these? I could tell something was going on in her head, that she was like, this is wrong. These shouldn't have been priced like this. So we kind of, I feel like we worked the system a little bit, or got lucky. We got lucky on that one. So that ended up working out for us. We still have a few of those, but I kept a couple of those as well. That ended up working out. Next was a tube of Nakona glove conditioner, like baseball glove conditioner, that we got at a garage sale. We paid 50 cents for this. It wasn't completely full. It was about 3/4 of the way full. And it sold very, very quickly. I don't know if I underpriced it or if I just got lucky and sold it quickly. It sold for $11 on best offer. Next up was a Velbon heavy duty aluminum photography tripod. We got this at an estate sale that was like literally right across the street from us. We paid $6.50 for this. It was on half off day, and it sold for $41.99 on full asking price. Next up was an 11 by 14, I described it as fabric art. It was like a piece of fabric that had like a snow scene on it, and it was wrapped on a piece of cardboard. So somebody had like mounted it so that it was ready to be framed, although it probably needed a little bit of work. It was a pretty snow scene, so it was an interesting piece. It sold for $14.39. This particular week or month that these sales took place, we had a 10% off promotion on all home decor items, so this was included on that, and so they were able to purchase it with a 10% off promotion. Next up was a lot of 2 Rar and Sons, which is a local brewery near us. They were pint beer glasses called the Regulator. And those we picked up at a local thrift store for $2.17, and they sold for $23.98. We had gotten a lot of pint glasses at this particular thrift store. We still have quite a few left. We still have quite a few Rar and Sons left, and quite a few from other breweries. I think we might end up lotting them together and selling them all as one lot because they're not moving as quickly as we would like them to. Next up was a men's Claiborne plaid short sleeve button-up shirt. It sold for $15.98. This belonged to my husband, and it sold on offer to buyer. Next up was something that was in our store for a very long time. I was very stubborn on the price on this, and I'm glad I waited. I got a lot of lowball offers on these, but these belong to me, and I had gotten them at a thrift store a long time ago, probably 20 years ago, and they were vintage at the time I got them. And I think that they were from the 1970s. The brand was Larry Mahan, and they were patchwork leather cowboy boots. They were really, really cool cowboy boots. And there were a few other ones listed, but not in this particular size. And then they had some sold comps. And the sold comps were in the 200s, and then the ones that were listed were similar, like 200s, maybe even 300s. I can't remember. But I was getting offers. I even had someone message me and say, these boots are really old. You need to take a lower price. And I was like, they're really old. That's kind of the idea. You know, they're vintage. Don't tell me they're really old and that's why I need to take a lower price. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I stuck to my guns, and I mean, we probably had these listed for almost 2 years before they sold. But they finally sold for close to our asking price, and they sold for $125 on best offer. And I was scared they were going to come back because shoes and clothes, we just have not been having great luck with that lately. But we ended up getting really good positive feedback, and the person who got them just loved them. They were perfect for them. So I was so happy. I was so happy that I stuck to my guns on this one, and so happy that the person who received them loved them so much. So yay on that. Next up was another vintage item. It was something that we got at an estate sale. The brand was Lawrence Kazar. It was a 100% silk ivory beaded shell. This sold for $28 even on best offer, and we had gotten it at an estate sale. We paid $5.12. Next up was a 2009 Play School Glowworm. It worked. It was in great condition. We got it at a garage sale. We paid $2 for it, and it sold for $18.99. This is the second glowworm that we've found that works and that we've sold. And I ran across one the other day, and I didn't buy it, and I kind of regretted not buying it. So I think I would probably buy any future glowworms that I see that worked if I found them. I'm not sure why I didn't buy that one the other day. I think I didn't remember that both of the ones that we had gotten had sold. Next up was something that belonged to my daughter. It was an Aurora brand, Yoo-Hoo and Friends. It was like a magnetic panda, and we had the big sis half, and it was like a big sis, little sis that magnetized together, but we didn't have the little sis side. So this was a replacement part. It sold for $11.99. So we were just selling the one half of the two-part set. And so it was in our store forever because somebody who was only looking for that one part would need it. But anyway, somebody finally needed that one part and came looking for it, and we had it. Next up was a Ralph Lauren Polo Golf button-up women's shirt. That we had picked up at a thrift store. We paid $2.17 for it, and it sold on best offer for $23 even. Next up was another Ralph Lauren item by Lauren Ralph Lauren. It was a men's pair of pleated charcoal gray dress pants. We got these at a thrift store. We paid $6.53, and they sold for $32.99 on full asking price. Next up was an item we got at that same estate sale across the street from us, where we got the tripod. This was an ATG gun, which is an advanced tape glider gun, like a double stick tape gun that you would use for crafting or scrapbooking, by the brand Scotch. We purchased it for $3, and it sold for $23.98. And last is a pair of Levi's women's perfect waist jeans that we got at a garage sale for $2. They sold for $23.98 on best offer. We got positive feedback on those. And then finally, I always go over the totals of all of the collectible cards that we sold for my husband's collection. We sell baseball, football, all kinds of sports cards, comic, collectible card game cards, all kinds of cards that my husband has had in his collection since the 80s and 90s. And he's finally selling all of those. We've got a lot listed and we're still listing them. And we have so many to list still. We sold 9 cards for a total of $30.81. And that wraps up our sales for the week of March 19th through 25th. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you like it and make sure that you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And as a reminder, we are going to be giving away $100 in gift cards when we reach 100 subscribers. So please make sure that you are subscribed so you can be a part of that giveaway. We're going to be providing more information soon on that once we hit 100 subscribers, so be on the lookout for a video coming out soon with more information. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.